Fragrant spices, good
Fragrant
spices,
Spices.
come in many flavors. Aromatic, so exotic, taste that you should savor. Roots and seeds and bark combined, pestle and mortar used to grind.
Hello everybody, hello children, welcome to what is going to be our most gorgeous smelling online field trip ever. My name is Sam and this is John, our expert for today. Hello John.
Hello Sam, hello children.
And Johnny's going to be telling us everything we've wanted to know about the incredibly fragrant world of spices. It smells amazing here. Now today we're here in a spice packing factory which is in Northamptonshire, which is in the middle of the country. But although we are in England, we are surrounded by exotic spices from all over the world. Give us a wave and a cheer in your classrooms, children, if you're looking forward to learning all about fragrant spices today. Great stuff. We've got a really lively bunch, John,
Very
today.
lively.
So first of all, we need to explain our outfits because this isn't our usual outfit, is it?
No. We're wearing these special coats and hairnets because we're in a food factory and what we want to do is to protect the food. So it's not about protecting us, it's about protecting the food. So this is to make sure no hair gets in the food and this is to make sure our clothes don't contaminate the food.
Great stuff. And to protect obviously all these bags of spices that I mentioned, John, because there are so many. How many bags of spices and how many different types of spices do you have here in the warehouse?
Well, in this warehouse we've probably got about 80,000 bags and probably 100 different spices and probably from 40 different countries in the world.
Wow.
Virtually every country, but not Antarctica because it's just too cold there for spices to grow.
Wow, and it is really amazing. It's mind-blowing to think of all the journeys across the world these spices have made. And usually on a farm-to-fork trip like this, an online field trip, we take one particular type of food and we follow it from farm to fork. But today's going to be a bit different because we're going to take a look at all the different types of spices and find out where they come from, aren't we, John?
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about all 100 because that's just too many. But we are going to talk about a few, about the roots and the seeds and why they smell and taste so good.
Great stuff, can't wait. But before we start, let's meet our schools. Let's go to RGS Springfield now. They're in Worcester and it's Mr. Miller's class that's taking part today. Hello children. That was nice and loud. Let's go to Woodthorne Infants now. Let's go over to Codham Academy now. They're in Great Yarmouth and it's Mr. Handley's class taking part today. And let's go to Loddon Primary now in Reading where we have Miss Culvert's class taking part today. Hello everybody. Wow, what a great bunch we have taking part. Amazing. And it is so good, children, as well, to see that most of you have done your experiments and you're all wearing your turmeric tie-dye t-shirts, just like mine that I did myself here. How gorgeous are they? It's like a bit of sunshine in a t-shirt, isn't it? Great stuff. Great to see you all wearing them. We're going to talk about that and how you made your t-shirts a little later on in this online field trip. But first of all, let's start from the beginning. Let's find out from John first. What is a spice, John, and where do they come from?
Okay, well, spices come from lots of different countries, really warm, sunny, hot and humid countries. And they grow on trees, or they grow in the ground, or the seeds, or the fruits, or the flowers. And the thing that makes them smell and taste so nice is they've got lots of oil inside, and it's that oil that gives that really lovely smell and taste.
Oh, it's so delicious, the smell in here. It's making me hungry. Now, are all spices spicy, John? Because we use the term spicy to talk about something that's hot, don't we?
Yeah, lots of people think of spices as being something really hot, like a curry, but in fact there are lots of spices that aren't hot at all. So if you think about ginger, for example, and gingerbread men, then ginger isn't hot, it's sweet and it's tasty. So not all spices are hot.
Right, yeah, I'm sure that a lot of our children can actually vouch for the fact that ginger is actually tasty in gingerbread men. So the big question then, John, is how do we get all these amazing colourful powders from the things that you talked about, like flowers and seeds?
Okay, so the children have been using turmeric to dye the t-shirts. And if you look at turmeric fingers, then they're a little bit yellow, but they're not very exciting. But when you grind them in big machines, you end up with these beautiful bright colours like yellow. And this is paprika, which is quite red as a pod, as a fruit, but once it's ground it has that beautiful red, deep red, vibrant colour.
They do look amazing. And children, you have spices that are in your classrooms now, so this is a perfect opportunity to take a look at all the different spices, have a little smell, have a little touch, have a little feel, look at the differences between them as well. But if you are touching the spices, make sure you wash your hands before you touch your face again, and don't get rubbing your eyes because they might sting. So can we take a look at some of the other things we have here,
yes,
please, John?
We've got lots of things to look at here. So these are cloves. These have come from Sri Lanka, and it's a flower that's been dried in the sun, and they taste really, really pungent, and can be used in toothpaste, for example. Then we've got different kinds of pepper. So you've probably all seen black pepper, which you put in a grinder to grind onto your food.
Yep.
We've also got white pepper here and green pepper, which are all from the same plant. It's a seed, and it comes from Vietnam or from Indonesia or from Malaysia, all warm, sunny places. And in fact, if you break a black peppercorn in half, in the middle is a white peppercorn. So
wow.
It's quite unusual in that respect. And then another seed this is a nutmeg. So this is the seed of a big fruit that grows on trees. You don't eat it like that because you break your teeth, but you tend to grind it onto your food. So people will have little grinds at home to grind their own nutmegs. In fact, when it's ground as a powder, it looks like this. And then this is a beautiful spice. It's called star anise. It comes from South China and North Vietnam. And it's a flower. It looks like a flower. It's called star anise because it's in the shape of a star. It's oily and it tastes delicious, and that is often ground because you wouldn't want to eat it like that.
No, you wouldn't. That is beautiful. It's so
gorgeous.
lovely, and they're all different shapes and sizes. It's great. And of course, John is mentioning grounding
Yes.
all these spices. And children, we have sent you a pestle and mortar, not as big as this, into your classroom. So perhaps you'd like to have a go at putting some of the different things in and grinding them up and giving it a go, just as all these spices have been ground to make all these powders. And maybe you may put like a couple of the different spices together and make your own spice mix.
Yeah,
that'd be a good idea,
really good
wouldn't
idea.
it?
Very good idea.
And once you've made your own spice mix, you might want to take it home and give cooking with the spices you've made a go at home with your family as well. And if you do give that a go, we would absolutely love to hear how you got on, and maybe even see a picture of something you've made. That'd be nice. But we'd love to hear now how what you think of all these different spices we have here, and about the things that you've been learning online, because of course we have lots of resources online, and we know that you've been learning about spices already before today. So if I could ask someone from RGS Springfield to come up and just tell us your favourite thing you've learned about spices so far, that'd be great.
Hello, my name is Catherine, and our spice fact is that to make 500 grams of saffron, you need over 75,000 crocuses. That makes it very expensive.
Right, so that's great. So you need 75,000 crocuses to make a gram of saffron.
Wow, it is an awful lot.
That's a tongue twister. That's amazing fact.
Yeah.
Is that true, John?
Yeah, it is. I didn't know it's so many, but it's a heck of a lot.
Oh, great learning, really, really great learning. Let's go to Woodthorpe Infants now to find out what you already know about spices.
Hello, my name is Toby, and I have enjoyed learning how to make a gingerbread man with spices.
So Woodthorpe Infants have learned how to make gingerbread men with, of course, ginger, which is a spice, isn't it?
Yeah, delicious.
Oh, you know, the worst thing is when I go to buy a gingerbread man and there isn't any ginger in there. How can you do that? They sometimes sell them like that. Great stuff, children. You've obviously been learning lots about the different ways that we can use spices to make lots of different nice foods and stuff. It's time to learn more about spice now with this short video, The Magic of Spices.
Fragrant Spices, the magic of spices. We have been trading spices like cinnamon, pepper, and turmeric for thousands of years. But because exotic spices don't grow in colder climates like ours, Europeans have had to travel to the east, to civilizations like Asia, the Middle East, and Northeast Africa to buy spices to ship back home, sometimes sailing for weeks or months at a time. In the very early days, spice traders would make up fantastic stories about their journeys and how they found the spices in order to get more for their wares. They would tell tales of deep glens filled with cinnamon and infested with snakes, and other exotic spices guarded by winged creatures. But now we know better, as we can visit the places the spices grow and can see they are cultivated in much less fantastical ways. Nutmeg, for example, is the seed of this tree. The inside part of the fruit is the bit we grind to create the nutmeg. Cinnamon is the bark of a tree and looks like this. Pepper is made from these tiny berries. And cardamom comes from green pods that look like this. People continued to trade spices through the centuries, and in the Middle Ages, the quest for spices was one of the reasons Europeans started to explore the globe further. And the spices they found were so highly prized that wars were even fought over trade routes. All the colourful and fragrant aromas must have seemed very exotic and magical to the Europeans who were buying them back then. And because of this, they were inspired to use them for many different purposes, from flavouring and preserving their food, to making perfumes and dyes, and sometimes even medicine. In fact, in Elizabethan times, it was thought that the spice nutmeg was a cure for the plague, a deadly disease of the time, which pushed up demand and made it very expensive to buy. Today, we know that spices don't cure us of diseases, but they do make our food taste great. So next time you eat a gingerbread man, or sprinkle some cinnamon on your hot chocolate, spare a thought for the long journey these magical spices have taken to season your food.
Welcome back, children. We hope you enjoyed learning all about spices. Give us a wave and a cheer in your classrooms if you enjoyed the video. They certainly enjoyed it, John. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it.
What I loved about the video is the stories that the spice traders have come up with about how they found their spices. You've got a particular story, haven't you, John?
Yeah, there's a great one about cinnamon sticks, because if people didn't know where they came from, and the spice traders want to get as much money as they could for the cinnamon. So they used to tell people that there were giant birds that built nests out of these sticks, and they'd pinch them from the giant birds, and the giant birds would have pecked them, and they were very dangerous. So because they risked their lives, they could charge huge sums of money for it.
That is great. What wild imaginations they had. Great stuff. Now, as you can see, children, we've moved to a different location. This is where all the spices are packed in the factory, and by hand as well, yes. John, by the looks of it.
Yeah, well, cinnamon sticks are very, very delicate, so there's no real machine to do it. And if a machine did do it, it would probably damage them, and then people wouldn't like it and they'd be unhappy and they'd complain. And so we're busy packing these cinnamon sticks at the moment because lots of people like to buy them.
Great stuff. And we have some more cinnamon that's being packed just over here, don't we? Into something rather special. It smells amazing up here, children. It's so good. What do we have here then, John?
So this is going to be a very special hot spicy drink. So we're making them in these little sachets, and we've got 8 different spices. So we've got sliced oranges that have come all the way from California. You've all seen oranges before, but this is what they look like when they're sliced and dried. This is called mace. This is a dried spice from the outside of the nutmeg that we showed you downstairs, and that's come all the way from Indonesia. This is pimento, which comes from another part of the world, a long, long way away. And pimento is a seed, and that comes from Jamaica. This is called ginger tips, so it's ginger that grows underground. It's come all the way from India, and it's got a really sort of nice gingery taste. And then we've seen these already. These are cloves, and these have come from Sri Lanka, all dried in the sun. And then these are cranberries. These have come from America, from New England, especially to be made into this delicious tasting hot drink. And then finally we've got cardamom pods, which come from a place called Guatemala, and then back onto cinnamon sticks, which we use a lot of. And when they put all these together into a packet, we end up with this beautiful, lovely looking drink.
And this is what all these packers behind us are doing, and it's kind of a very precise
job.
Line, isn't it? Where they're measuring every single thing that goes into here, and it does smell amazing. So I bet this smells amazing as well, John.
Great. Really nice.
Talking of smelling amazing, I know we've sent you lots of spices along with a pestle and mortar to your classroom to grind the spices. So I'd love to know now how you got on and what the spices taste like, or smells like even. So if you go to Cobham Academy, how did you get on grinding your spices and what did they smell like?
Slowly smells like a blackjack. Also, it looks really fascinating how it's shaped in a star.
So they are really fascinated by the shape of star anise. As I am. It's like it's beautiful, isn't it?
Wouldn't believe it.
Very, very nice. And let's go up to Loddon Primary now. How did you get on grinding your spices and smelling your spices?
Hello, I'm Max, and we thought they were soft and hard because some were not grated and some were. And I like the soft ones because they were soft.
Wow, so Max liked the fact that there are soft spices and hard spices as well, so lots of different textures.
Yeah, very good point.
Great stuff, great learning everybody. Time to learn some more now. And this is the journey of cinnamon from farm to fork. So enjoy this video and watch out for the elephants.
Fragrant Spices. Cinnamon. From farm to fork. Cinnamon is one of our favourite spices and a very familiar flavour. You might have tasted it on your porridge, in a bun, or sprinkled it on your hot chocolate. But have you ever wondered where it comes from? It's perhaps a little bit surprising, but this fragrant spice is actually the bark of these trees. It grows here, in these lush green forests, in a country called Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is in Asia, in the Indian Ocean. Sometimes it is referred to as the teardrop of India, because if you look at it on a map, it looks a little bit like a droplet falling from the coast of India. The cinnamon plants grow well along the southwest coast of Sri Lanka and in the low hills. This is because they are both areas where the heavy monsoon rain falls, making them very humid and green. After being planted, the cinnamon tree takes around 2 years to grow to be 12 to 15 feet tall. Once they reach this height, the farmers know they are ready to be harvested. The farmers are continually planting new cinnamon plants to make sure they always have enough to keep up with demand. The cinnamon farmers train the plants to grow as straight as possible. They do this because straight branches mean straight sticks of cinnamon. The cinnamon here in Sri Lanka is harvested by hand, using a blade like a machete. It's very hard work, especially as Sri Lanka is such a hot and humid country. But the people who do it are very skilled at it. Once it has been cut down, it's tied together and then loaded onto a truck like this before being taken to the peeling factory to remove the bark. First, the branches are dipped in water to soften the bark. Then this man, called a peeler, removes knots from the branch as well as the outer bark. Peeling the bark from the branch is a very skilled job and is a traditional Sri Lankan occupation. Then the fragrant inner bark is peeled off and packed together like this. The bark naturally curls together, forming sticks that are called cinnamon quills. The quills are placed high up near the ceiling and left to dry in the heat of the day. They are then bundled up before being weighed and packed into containers to send to the UK. After about 3 weeks at sea, the cinnamon arrives at the UK factory. It is checked for quality in the laboratory. And then the most flawless sticks are packed by hand into jars. Less perfect looking sticks, which still taste and smell the same, are ground up in this special bark mill. Once the cinnamon has been milled into a powder, it is put into jars using this machine. Finally, the jars of ground cinnamon are ready to embark on the final part of their journey. Being sent to the store for you to buy and enjoy at home.
Welcome back, children. We hope you enjoyed that. Give us a wave and a cheer if you spotted those elephants. Great stuff. They spotted the elephants, did you, John?
I did. What incredible animals they are.
Amazing. So beautiful. Now, of course, spices are used to flavour lots of different types of food, and we have some of them here. So, John, can you talk us through them, please?
Yeah. Well, we've got tea here, but it's a special tea, and it's got cinnamon in. Cinnamon we've talked about a lot today, but it makes the tea taste really sweet and tasty. And this is a really, really interesting product. This is a soup. It's a parsnip soup, which is actually very nice on its own, but when you put spices in, it's really, really delicious. So it's got things like fenugreek in there, and pepper, and cumin, and lots of other spices, which makes it taste really, really tasty.
Yummy.
And then here there are two other things. Popcorn, which you may not think, but you can get cinnamon on popcorn, which makes it taste lovely and sweet. And then bagels, cinnamon bagels as well, which is also really delicious.
Really, really tasty. And of course, spices aren't only used to flavour food, they're used for lots of other things as well, aren't
so
they?
they're used in perfume, so cardamom pods can be used in perfume, and sometimes they're used in medicines. And I think I said earlier that cloves is often put into toothpaste to help you clean your teeth.
Wow, so lots of uses.
Lots of different uses.
Something you haven't mentioned actually, John, is dyeing, making dye for clothes, which is how we've got our fantastic turmeric dyed t-shirts. Here's mine, I'm very proud of it. That's why I keep showing it all the time, John. I've actually got a little present for you because you've got one as well. You can join our club. There you go.
So kind of you, thank you very much.
Hopefully it's the right size.
It's fantastic.
I think now's the best time to take a look at your t-shirts, children. We'd love to take a closer look. So if we can get someone from RGS Springfield up in front of the camera, let's take a look. Wow, look at those t-shirts, amazing. Would someone like to tell us how you dyed your t-shirts?
Hi, I'm Abigail. On Wednesday we made tie-dye t-shirts. First we wet t-shirts and rolled them tightly. Then we attached string and rubber bands in different places. After that we placed them in a big pan full of water and turmeric. Then we left them for an hour, and here are our results. That's
how they did their t-shirts. It's actually quite simple, isn't it?
Yeah, very simple.
Really good. You're going to give it a go now, aren't you, John? All your t-shirts, they won't be boring white anymore. Great stuff. Well done, RGS Springfield. Let's go to Woodthorne Infants now. How did you get on? Can we take a look at your t-shirts? Wow, look at those. Great stuff. I also like as well though, John, because ours have got like lines across, but there's lots of white and yellow splashes.
Lovely shapes, like star anise, one of them.
Yeah, one did look like star anise. Great stuff, Woodthorne. Let's go over to Loddon Primary now. Let's take a look at your t-shirts. Wow, it's just like looking at the sunshine, isn't it? Look at all those yellow t-shirts.
Absolutely loads.
Very, very cool indeed. You've really made lots of effort there. Brilliant. I know that Cobham Academy are going to give that a go at another point as well. So good luck with your t-shirts, Cobham. As you can see, they look absolutely fantastic, so it's going to be well worth it. Right, I'm afraid we've come to the end of this online field trip. Almost, just enough time to get some questions for John. So let's go to RGS Springfield again. Do you have any questions for John?
Hello, my name is Amira. Our question is: the Carolina Reaper is a really hot pepper. What is the world's hottest spice?
Thank you so much for that question, Amira. So Amira would like to ask you about the hot Reaper, is the really hot pepper, and what is the hottest spice in the world, John?
Well, we think it's a chilli. We think it's the ghost chilli that comes all the way from India, and it's so hot. You can only eat a little bit at a time, otherwise it's actually quite dangerous to eat. I
don't think I'm going to try that.
No,
I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to hot chilies. A really great question. Let's go over to Woodthorne Infants now.
Hi, my name's Natalia, and my question is: how many different colours of spice are there?
Great question. Let me ask John. So how many different colours of spices are there, John?
Well, I don't think I can answer that because I think there's every colour you can imagine. So if you think of a rainbow, then you get spices in every different colour of the rainbow.
Wow.
Lots and lots and lots.
Great question. Let's get a question from Cobham Primary.
Hello, I'm Jensen. What's the spice that has to travel the furthest to get to the supermarket?
That was Jensen. Jensen would like to know which spice has travelled the furthest to get to the supermarket.
Wow,
John?
what a great question, Jensen. Gosh, I'll have to stop and think. I think it's probably come from Indonesia, and it's probably the nutmeg. And if you don't know where Indonesia is, it's nearly in Australia, so it's come an awful long way, and it's come all the way here.
Wow, great question. Great answer as well,
Okay.
John. Let's go to Loddon Primary now, just to get one final question for John.
Hello, my name's Fergus. And how much spices are there in the world?
That's a really good question. So, John, how many spices are there in the world?
Gosh, there's probably nearly 100 different types of spices, but then for every spice there's lots of different varieties. So on chilies there may be as many as another 100 types of chilies. So
Wow.
there's lots and lots and lots, which is why you can make so many good tasting foods.
Wow, great stuff. Thank you so much for those questions, children. Thank you so much for taking part. Thank you so much, John, as well. One final question for you. What's the best thing about your job?
Well, I like to see all the work that's done at source, going to the countries, to see the farmers at work and to think what a fantastic job they do for us to be able to bring them all the way across the world to here. And for people to enjoy and eat.
Yeah, it seems like a really great job, especially if you get to go to Sri Lanka and meet the elephants.
See the elephants, yeah.
Thank you so much, children, for being with us today and learning all about fragrant spices. Don't forget, if you'd like to take part in a farm to fork trail, you need to sign yourself up on the website. All the information that you will need to sign yourself up for one of those amazing visits is online. So do just that, because you will have so much fun, just like the children you're seeing on screen right now. From myself and John here on this long online field trip, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, RGS Springfield.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Woodthorne Infants. Goodbye, Cobham Academy. And finally, goodbye, Loddon Primary. And don't forget, if you'd like to join us on our next online field trip, we'll be learning all about wrinkly raisins on the 5th of November. That's after the half term. If you do have some spare time over the half term, we have nearly 30 online field trips online for you to take a look at, and lots of resources for you to download too as well. So that'll keep you nice and busy. See you after the half term. Have a great break. Goodbye.
Bye.